Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World, and today I'm bringing you guys another one of my builds, this time around a bow build. Now my previous bow build, the Mach 1, focused on getting as many bow skills as possible into one build, and therefore it was very much a jack-of-all-trades type build, which allowed you to do a lot of things without necessarily excelling at any of them. This time around, I wanted to take a bit of a different approach to the bow, and I came up with this build, which I called the Rath-of-Bow, which naturally is a bit of a reference to Wrath of Meow, because we're also using Rath-of-Bow set beast bonus in order to get as much damage as we possibly can out of elemental damage. So we will be focusing on elemental damage through the use of our normal shots as well as our spread shots. Now, the weapon that we are using for the purpose of this particular video is the Tear-Off Arrow Spark. However, you can use whatever bow you want so long as it is an elemental type bow, and I would advise you guys to get something that has either positive affinity or neutral affinity, because this build is going to rely on you actually critting in the monsters. Therefore, if your bow has negative affinity, this build is not going to be nearly as effective with that particular bow type. Also, the higher the elemental damage the bow has, the better. Now, I know that there's some really good bows out there that drop from cold to rot that have an element, but I haven't been lucky so far up until this point to get one of those bows. Therefore, we're using Tear-Off Arrow Spark. If you don't have this, you can also craft the Tobi Kadachi, what's it called? The Flying Kadachi Strike Bow, or whatever it is, and it'll pretty much do the same job as this one. This one, I believe, is slightly better, but the Flying Kadachi Strike Bow can still do decent damage. Now, the reason I'm using a Thunder Element Bow is because there's tons of monsters that are weak to Thunder in the game, as I've mentioned in multiple videos in the past. But if you want a different element, and you should get a different element, it is fairly easy to adapt this build to a completely different element. I will tell you guys how once we get into the decoration part of the build. So let's get things started. The first armor piece is the Wrath Soul Helm Beta, and we're getting this because we want to get the Rath-of-Bow's critical element set bonus, but also because it's got critical boost, and we're going to be taking advantage of that critical boost by adding another point once we get to decorations. But ultimately, we're getting the set bonus, and critical boost is a pretty good skill to have, so why the hell not? Then we got the Rathalos Male Beta. Now, naturally, Weakness Exploit. This is pretty much self-explanatory. You're going to want to get Weakness Exploit because we want to get as many crits as possible. Then we got the Kaiser Vambrace's Beta, which is going to complete the Weakness Exploit, and it also brings in a level 3 decoration slot that we need for this particular build. Then we got the Nergigante Coil Beta, which is going to bring in some attack boost. To be completely honest, this particular piece in the set you can exchange for just about anything else you want, so long as it's got a level 2 decoration jewel. I just found that the Nergigante Coil brought the most damage to the build, at least in my opinion. But having said that, like I said, you can use whatever you want so long as it brings at least one level 2 decoration slots that we can put in the decoration that I have on there. Then we got the Lavazioth Greaves Beta. You might actually have to use a different one depending on the decorations that you have available to you, which I will get into once we get to decorations. But naturally, one of the main reasons is because it's got spread power shots, and also it's got a level 2 decoration slot. And also, I kind of prefer the look of this to the Diablos Greaves. That's kind of why I went with this one. So it's going to be a little bit optional. When we get to the decorations, I'll explain better. But for now, Lavazioth Greaves Beta. And then we basically round out the set with a Fitness Charm 3, bringing us 3 levels of Constitution, because naturally you're going to want Constitution to maintain your charged shots for as long as possible. Dash Juice is also advisable, even though I myself didn't really use it in the hunt that you guys are watching. But if you really want to be better and be able to just like stay closer to monsters for longer periods of time, Dash Juice is going to help you out. Taking a look at decorations, on the Wrath Soul Helm Beta, we have 2 Bolt Jewels because we're going to want to max out the thunder damage of our bow. On the Rathalos Male Beta, we have another Bolt Jewel, and this is pretty much going to cap out the thunder damage for this particular bow. If you are using a different weapon, you might want to test out where the elemental damage actually caps, but usually 3 elemental damage jewels are enough to cap out the elemental damage of like 90% of the bows in the game. Then on the Kaiser Vambrace's Beta, we're going to bring in a Force Shot Jewel level 3. Now, in the event that you do not have a Force Shot Jewel level 3, you got 2 choices here. If you have a Spread Jewel, then you get the Spread Jewel in here. If you do not have a spread jewel or a force shot jewel, then you get another critical jewel and you put it in here. And if you don't have another critical jewel, then it's like, look, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Get whatever you want. But basically, if you don't have the force shot jewel, you can put a spread shot jewel in here, and then instead of using the Lavasioth Greaves Beta, you can use the Diablos Narrows, I don't know if it's called Greaves or whatever, Diablos Narrow Pants, which has normal shot, and therefore you will get the spread shot decoration on here, and then you'll have the normal shot on the legs. It's completely optional, it's up to you. Then on the Nergigante Coil Beta, we have a critical jewel 2, and on the Lavasioth Greaves Beta, we have a Mighty Bow Jewel 2. Taking a look at the finalized build, we have level 3 Thunder Attack, level 3 Weakness Exploit, level 3 Constitution, level 2 Attack Boost, level 2 Critical Boost, level 1 Normal Shots, level 1 Spread Power Shots, and level 1 Bow Charge Plus, as well as Rathalos Mastery Critical Element, which is going to make it so that whenever we do deal critical damage, we're also going to be dealing additional elemental damage. Now, this was pretty much, after a bunch of tests, as much damage as I could possibly squeeze out of this bow, and in my opinion, this is a pretty solid build for all-round gameplay. Now, naturally, you're going to want to change the element type of the bow to match the monster that you are fighting. Bows, in my opinion, is one of the most important weapons to actually use elemental playstyle, because basically a lot of the damage from the bow actually comes from the element because of the low motion values of your regular shots as well as your power shots. So just like figure out whatever is the weakness of the monster you are fighting and gem accordingly. Replace those bolt jewels with either dragon jewels, fire jewels, stream jewels. Completely analyze the weakness of the monster that you are fighting against and take the element against it, and you are going to get the best possible results with this particular build. Now just remember, with this build, you are going to be excelling at your shots, your charge shots, as well as your spread and power shots. So therefore, that is what you want to focus on. You don't want to focus as much on the Dragon Piercer. You can do a Dragon Piercer like if you got a good opening, but usually you will be able to squeeze more damage out of this particular build by spamming power shots and spread shots and all of that stuff onto the monster. So if you actually want to do Dragon Piercers and whatnot, you probably want to go with a different build. Having said that, this is super solid, as you guys can see in the background. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. The end slate should be coming in right about now. If you want to watch one of these two videos being featured right now, you can just click on them and you can go and watch them. Otherwise, remember to subscribe if you want to receive all of my videos. Hit the bell icon so that you actually get the notifications to my videos. And I will see you guys in the next one.